This is a mess of a late 60s Fender Bassman cab that somebody decided to cover in this gray rat fur looking stuff. I don't know how bad the Tolex was to begin with. And then here we got the bottom where the casters are is completely caved in. And let's see, it's actually got pine for the sides, but then we got chipboard where the speakers, the baffle is, and we got chipboard also on the rear panel. Now it looks like it's got the original Tolex still under here, but I checked underneath the rest of it and it doesn't, unfortunately. Otherwise I would rip this rat fur off and try and fix it, and eventually maybe we will and put new Tolex on it, but it's not my amp, so it's my brother's. He'll do what he wants with it. But right now we want to try and fix this, re-glue this board, see if we can get that right. And then these just have drywall screws and they're all pulling out. All this old pine, just too soft. You need longer screws or bigger screws. We'll probably go with bigger screws, something that's not just a drywall screw. I don't know if all this fiberglass was added or if that's original from Fender. I'll have to look into that because I might want to get rid of that too. That's kind of baffling a lot, but maybe it's supposed to be in there. But if it is, it's all collapsed. I kind of doubt that it was supposed to be in there. Then we got some nice JBL 15s though, D140Fs, and man, they do sound really good. I will say that. The old James B. Lansing. 8 ohms, so together they're a 4 ohm cabinet for a Fender dual Showman blackface. Okay, I pulled the rest of that fiberglass out so we can get a better look at this cabinet. It's been repaired before. Somebody's added that board right there, so my guess is this cabinet took a heck of a beating at some point. Probably the Tolex was all messed up, and that's why they replaced this rat fur stuff. But here's a look at the dual 15 JBLs. And you can tell I got finger jointed pine down the corners. And got speaker code WHF 5548. Maybe 1965, 48th week. I don't know. I don't see any other codes. I got a serial number 19540, so maybe again 1965, 40th week, maybe. Don't know. Yeah, this top part looks like it got repaired too. Yeah, this thing must have took a heck of a beating at some point. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll take this rubber mallet and we'll put some glue in this joint and we'll tap this back flat, and then we'll take this piece of birch plywood, put it in there, screw it and glue it in. We backed out the inner screws from the casters and we'll screw them back in that'll go all the way in through the birch and through the pine, and then we should have a pretty sturdy bottom on this cabinet again. A little bit closer look at this cabinet and we see it was actually cut off on the bottom, and the same thing on the top was cut off, and then this board added, and maybe a new bottom, and I kind of don't think there's finger joining in this bottom corner either. My guess is this whole cabinet got water damage or something at some point, and somebody cut off the bottom and rebuilt it, and that's why the Tolex is gone and why they did this. That's a lot of work. And then also I noticed we got one JBL that's ribbed and one that's smooth. Interesting. I also have these wires which are just together with electrical tape, which has probably worked for 30 or 40 years, but we may pull that off.
Oh.
Solder it. Might be soldered in there. No, it actually feels pretty good. Soldered there. I also have this tape on here. LYNCH maybe? I don't know what that's all about. We have a little bit of marker on that piece. Don't know what those marks mean. And then a JS on top. Okay, now I got wood glue on the crack. Take the rubber mallet, give it a whack. Wipe off the excess wood glue. No dog. Then put in a piece of birch plywood, pre-drilled some holes in there, and we'll put screws in there. And then I'll secure that bottom pretty good, and we'll drive these screws from the casters back in from the bottom side, put a couple screws in from the top side, let that glue set, and it should be good. So now we got that piece of birch plywood in there, 6 screws in there. Should be good. Bottom should be good. So these speaker connections are just black tape, and I unwound it and it's just wired together. I think we're going to solder that and go ahead and put some heat shrink tubing on it, make it a little better than it is. Now I've got my connectors J-hooked together. We'll go ahead and solder them and then slide that piece of heat shrink tubing up over them, and then it'll be much better than that old electrical crusty tape that's falling apart. Okay, all soldered up and heat shrink together. Looks a whole lot cleaner and better. And we'll vacuum out this cab, put the back door on, and replace some of these drywall screws with something a little better, I think. Okay, we added a few more screws because the screws that were on there were sporadic, and we put all new bigger size wood screws in, so this cabinet door will actually stay on this time. We also took some Wellwood contact cement and glued this back on because this was all loose around the jack. And then around front, these are the bulletproof grills somebody had on here. Actually not so bad, it doesn't have that classic Fender look, but it is nice, and it's got some of that old Fender hardware still they saved from whatever they built this from. I kind of think they actually built this from maybe a twin reverb, either that or this thing had water damage at the bottom at one point and they had to rebuild the bottom. Not really sure which, but I guess they salvaged what they could, and definitely salvaged the really nice speakers. So this is what it looks like married back to its dual Showman.